Hello everyone. Today I bring you something a little different from my usual gaming fare. I want to talk about how I felt after finishing one of my favourite shows. And I've been watching it for years and believe that talking about things or writing them down and how they affect you can help you process your emotions and have a noticeably positive effect on your mental health and shouldn't be overlooked. There's a small but notable depression that arises after finishing a favourite show. It's funny how some people can form greater emotional connections to their favourite things over people and mourn the loss of them deeper than when either one of them ends. Or maybe this is just a case of me being more of an introvert and not really a people person. I guess it comes down to the amount of time invested, how fond you are of it, how long you've been following it for, and how many pleasant memories you have of it. I had been putting it off for months, and recently managed to finish The Magicians, a wonderfully creative show about a group of magicians existing amongst normal people and going to a university called Brickbills. I once described it to my friend as Harry Potter meets Game of Thrones, all the magic, adventure and wonder of the former and the violence, sex and fantasy of the latter. Like I said, I had been watching it for years and it's easily one of my favourite shows of all time. It felt like a show that was tailor-made for me. It features a likeable cast of deeply flawed and interesting characters. I loved how the show takes well-known pop culture references and puts its own spin on them. The often clever writing, overall fantastical theme of the show, the humour was just in my taste, and I thoroughly enjoyed each episode. That's why when I found out Season 5 was going to be the final one, it took me months to actually watch the entire season. Even when I did watch it, it would be one at a time, trying to savour each and every episode. I didn't want it to end. It was like an old pet I didn't want to say goodbye to. Although on the opposite end, I also didn't want it staying on forever and losing what made it special. Physically, or digitally I should say, it's still available for me to watch. It hasn't disappeared off the face of the earth. It's not like a loved one I'll never see again, but I know how I am with TV shows that aren't 20-minute sitcoms like Friends and Brooklyn Nine-Nine, especially shows that are 40 minutes plus per episode. I rarely ever go back and rewatch them, so once I have seen the entire story, I know that that is it. I'd seen it all and likely wouldn't go back to it. That magical watching part of my life was over, even though it had the opportunity to reach a satisfying conclusion and end on its own terms, and like a lot of people's favourite shows these days, I still felt a deep sadness over the ending of the show. I have been watching a few videos on the topic to get other people's opinions, and to my comfort, I found I wasn't alone in feeling this attached to a show. I'd heard it dubbed post-show depression, and I've heard it described as being similar to a relationship ending with a significant other. If it causes sadness when it ends, you know that it meant something to you. Whether it helped you during a time of hardship, offered escapism or laughter when you needed uplifting. There was also a good point about how the ending of a show can make you more adept at handling loss on a bigger scale. If you have more experience in dealing with it, you're going to be more prepared to handle it when it isn't a TV show that you lose. Despite the sadness and having shed a few tears while saying goodbye, given the distance of a few days, I am now deeply grateful for having had the chance to watch the show, seeing the characters experience a multitude of emotions, triumphs and failures, love and loss, and keep on going in the face of horrible odds has given me an attitude to strive to be similar to. So to everyone involved in making the show, starring in it, writing it, directing it, and the creator of the book on which the show is based on, there's one thing left to say: a sincere thank you. And that is it. A thank you for everyone watching. If you haven't yet seen The Magicians and like the sound of what I've been talking about, I thoroughly recommend it. You could do a lot worse with your time. A like and subscribe would be much appreciated. Let me know in the comments if you've felt the same way about any other piece of media, and I'll see you next time.